There is evil everywhere. It lives among us, hidden under the mask of the night and shadow. This summer, you will be imbued with the power to fight. As Interplay Entertainment and High Voltage Software proudly unleash White Wolf's haunting pen and paper game, Hunter the Reckoning, to the PlayStation 2 computer entertainment system. With entirely new gameplay, weapons, and characters, Hunter the Reckoning Wayward will deliver non-stop action and horror to the PlayStation 2 computer entertainment system. And now, we continue our journey into the world of darkness and take you behind the scenes for part 2 of the making of Hunter the Reckoning Wayward.
Hunter Wayward features 5 characters. First is Joshua, named for the game. He's a wayward, paramilitary, psychotic, big. Do not cross paths with this guy. Next character, we have Cassandra. She's a young raver girl, John Woo-style fighting martial artist. She's really the fast character in the group. Then we have Father Esteban Cortez. He's the magically inclined character. Not as fast as the others, but his magic more than makes up for that. Then we have Deuce, big hulking biker. He's really the strong guy of the group. Takes out lots of monsters with the swing. Finally, we have Samantha, who's the balanced character. She's an ex-cop, great with her pistol, loves using her katana.
Hunter Wayward differs vastly from the original. It's not a linear gameplay at all anymore. There's a hub system so you can select whichever level you want to play. There's a way to change characters throughout all the different levels. You can play different characters in different levels where you feel it's appropriate. If you need a faster character to complete the goals in one mission, you can choose a faster character. If you need a slower, more powerful tank battle character, you can select them once you've encountered the mission once, go back and do it the way it was meant to be in your eyes. Play it out as harshly as you want or as sneakily as you want. It's really far more open than the first title was.
Some of the new weapons and abilities, all the hunters now have an area of effect edge that some of them are pretty spectacular actually. That's one of the new things that we wanted to make sure we put in the game. The new weapons, there's a chain gun in the game. We've got grenade launcher that actually has pretty good bounce physics. We have flare guns, chainsaws, axes, swords, you name it, we've got it.
With Wayward, continuing our goal of trying to make a game that was better than the first one, we're really working on expanding the music. We've got better sound effects. We're going to have Dolby Pro Logic 2 support. And in addition, we've also went out and we've got these big bands from major record labels, and we're going to insert them into the game to better enhance and make them a more entertaining experience. We're going to do that by adding music videos and music tracks that you can listen to and just give an overall better package for the music and the whole game in general.
far beneath the shifting sands of time. A battle has begun. And a hero has been born. He is brave. He is powerful. He is a whole new kind of hero. Prepare for an immortal adventure. Sphinx and the Shadow of Set.
We've known of the existence of Castle Wolfenstein for some time. We've only recently heard reports from our Kreisau Circle contacts in the German resistance regarding bizarre occult rituals taking place there.
Still doesn't add up. Well, that's why we sent our boys in there.
Rated M for mature. phones to help you out. You should be thankful that I'm doing this, so listen carefully to what I say, okay? First, let me explain your gadgets. Gadgets are useful tools that you control with the right analog stick. This is how you use them. Gadgets are activated in a variety of different ways. Try rotating and moving the right analog stick in different directions. Right now, you have just two gadgets, the Stun Club and the Monkey Net. Use the Stun Club to attack monkeys and enemies, and also to activate switches and devices. Your Monkey Net is used to catch those cheeky monkeys. To start with, the Stun Club is set to the triangle button, and the Monkey Net is set to the X button. Each button can be set to switch to a different gadget. You'll find it very convenient. Good luck! Can be used, so try it. That's it. If you need to hear my advice again, hit the message phone with the Stun Club. First switch to the Stun Club, then move the right analog stick in the direction you want to strike. See ya! Listen to this. If you press the jump button again while in midair, you can do a double jump. Double jumps will help you reach height. Take notice, the blue message phones like this one won't ring. So while you're still learning the controls, try to hit as many as you can for important advice. See the cookies in the top left of the screen? Each time you're injured, these cookies disappear one by one. If you lose all of your cookies, you'll collapse from exhaustion. Nobody wants to see that happen, so keep a full supply. Cookies can be found in the levels, the gotcha box, or by destroying enemies. Listen up, Jimmy. You need to learn about the functions of the banana ring.
The banana ring is a thrown weapon. Use the right analog stick to launch the banana ring. Press down, then release. You can make the banana ring emit a fruity scent that the monkeys can't resist.
This could be really useful for catching all those monkeys.
Yes, indeed. After you've thrown the banana ring, rapidly rotate the right analog stick. This releases a delicious banana aroma.
It's time to go back to Sunnydale. We recently caught up with the team at Vivendi Universal to talk about their latest game, a secret episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's chock full of Slayery goodness and features all the best-known characters from the TV series, as well as a cast of demons, or as they prefer to be called, undead Americans.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Chaos Bleeds, actually takes place in Season 5. We wrote it as a lost episode.
And in this episode, Ethan Rayne, an old friend of Giles and a worshiper of the two-faced deity Janus, wreaks a little havoc amongst the Scoobies.
He likes to think of himself as a sort of chaos magician. He's a very evil, selfish, greedy man, but with charm. And he basically strikes a deal with the First to set up a competition, and if Ethan manages to win the competition, the First will grant him all the powers of a Lord of Chaos. And if he loses, he'll wind up as, you know, some kind of like lickspittle somewhere in the depths of hell.
So he asks Ethan to choose 5 contestants for this contest. And of course, Ethan chooses Buffy, chooses Willow, chooses Faith, Spike, and Ethan also wanted to choose Oz, but Oz is off doing his thing with the werewolf, so he chooses Xander instead.
Just another day in the life of the Scooby Gang, sending another big bad to eternal damnation. But how do each of the gangs stack up?
They all have their own unique strengths and weaknesses. Personally, I like Faith, just kind of does what she does and doesn't listen to what's right or wrong.
Willow is obviously not the most physical of combatants. Her strength really lies in her use of magic. She can generate a miniature sun, which is fantastic for just frying all the vampires in the area. She can also create fireballs that she can send out homing after vampires and demons, which is another great way to get rid of those guys.
And Xander, not much of a fighter, so he utilizes a lot of different weapons, axes, and baseball bats.
And lastly, but definitely not least, you get to play as Sid, the demon hunter trapped in a ventriloquist doll's body. Sid, being that he's made of wood, has a certain amount of durability. He's also very small, which is actually the main useful feature of Sid in the game.
No Slayer experience would be complete without a big box of death-dealing weapons, and Chaos Reign has enough pointy things to keep players busy for quite a while.
Well, seeing as it's a vampire slaying game, there's a heavy stake usage. There's also a host of other good ways of dispatching vampires. There's pool cues, there's shovels, there's the water pistol, which can fire holy water or hellfire. You can throw these little vials, bottles of hellfire and holy water like grenades. You can use swords.
If I'm in the middle of a battle and I don't have a stake, I can look at a chair, or I can look at a wooden table or a signpost and say, hey, if I walk up and kick that thing, the splinters from that I can actually pick up and use as a stake.
And then there's the best part, the cloud of dust that accompanies the death of a vamp.
When you kill vampires, they dust. You get that hanging skeleton for a second and then just collapse into a pile of dust.
Staking the vampires, that's the core of this game. And it was real important for us to get that just right, that satisfaction of driving a wooden stake into a vampire's chest.
A game like this is the chance for the designer's kooky side to take control, but they have to stay true to the world of Buffy. Now that led to some creative ideas.
When we set out to create the enemies for the game, obviously we were grounded in what has already been created for the show, and because this is an alternate dimension, a bleeding dimension, we were able to sort of expand upon that and come up with some pretty crazy things as well. For instance, in the Sunnydale Zoo, you'll be fighting zombie gorillas and zombie penguins and all sorts of crazy things.
Mutant chimpanzees. Wonderful. What's next?
As you can hear, the voices in the game are downright spiffy, probably because most of them are actors from the show.
This is Spike Total Trigger Dialogue, 449.
Just never mind.
The only difference between acting on the set and doing the voiceover for the video game is that in the video game, you just have to heighten it just a little bit.
Get your filthy paws off me. Or whatever those things are.
The way we do the acting on Buffy is very straight, because that's where the humor can bounce off of.
I was sucking blood when you were still nursing a bottle.
So what does the man who puts the human in Spike think of the game?
You don't have to pay the game character to keep fighting, is the only difference between the game character and the character on the show. And it's not over after 48 minutes, you can keep playing, but otherwise it looks just like me, and I did all the voiceover, so it's gonna sound like me. And I think my black coat is even cooler in the game.
Taking on such a popular show can be a challenge for game designers, but the team at Vivendi Universal has given this game their all.
First and foremost, the game has got to be great for Buffy fans and non-Buffy fans. I want this game to play great for the person who's never watched a Buffy episode. So it's a way to introduce them to the mythology and to the characters. So first and foremost, the game's accessible to everyone.
The writing in the show is fantastic. They managed to pack it full of drama, horror, and a huge amount of humor. It just helps create this whole feeling that this is a playable episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
It's wacky. It's wild. It's groovy. It's a cool way for us to play. It's the new iToy.
The whole idea for the iToy was to create a brand new way for people to play games and also to interact with gaming.
There's a wide group of people who just are intimidated by the controller, and we wanted to give them an experience. It's like interactive gaming. So we were using a camera as the input device.
With the iToy, it's so simple and it's very intuitive. You're the controller. You don't have to delve into a big 30-page manual. You just need to move your arms around and have fun with it.
The idea behind it is to have a more flexible, freer interface that won't replace the game controller, but it can be used for some gaming experiences that are different.
How does this all work? Well, it's all on the wrist.
You take the iToy USB camera out of the box and plug it into one of the 2 USB ports of the PlayStation 2, and there is a focusing lens you adjust. And once you do that, you're pretty much set to go. Everything about the menu is all done with your hands. You wiggle your fingers or wave your hand to select start. And once you get that going, you go ahead and pick a game and you just get right into it.
The motion tracking technology in the mini games basically see any movement so that the game player can interact with the graphics through his motion.
It is very sensitive, so you can even stick your finger up and you can touch something on the screen, or you can wiggle your fingers and it actually tracks a little bit of motion.
All these hand motions and finger wriggling seem very intriguing to us, but there is a point to all this sleight of hand. We now see traditional parlor games in the new millennium.
The collection of mini games that comes with iToy were designed specifically as a social experience. They were designed to be fun to play when your friends come over and you get on camera and do funny things and you see yourself, kind of like Pictionary or charades.
It in fact encourages people to be silly and be crazy, so that you want to put on a show almost for your friends or family that are watching you. As long as you can move your body, you can have a blast, and your friends will have a blast watching you too.
And how do we blast off? What can we do with this new entertainment experience? It's a chance for us to perform, compete, and have a few yucks playing mini games.
But there's a whole bunch of different genres that are incorporated into the iToy games, whether it's sports, music, fighting, even puzzle elements as well.
The mini games let you move your body to interact with the computer graphics that are drawn around the video. And so there's a kung fu game and you have to punch the guys as they come after you. And there's a dance game where you have to kind of touch to make the music happen. And there's a lot of different games.
There's about a dozen of them that vary from window washing, where you're moving your hands like this to wipe things from the window. We've got rhythm action games where you've got CDs coming in from the four corners and you have to capture these CDs and in time with the beat.
There are other games of puzzle elements where the screen will flip around in different types of areas and you're trying to figure out, should I move my hand up there, but on screen your hand is showing up in the lower left corner as opposed to the upper right.
This is the chance to make stars or fools of ourselves. And we get to be on TV, sort of.
The coolest thing about the iToy really is the fact that you actually become part of the game now. You see yourself in the game, on the screen, and you physically interact with it now. You're not limited to controlling a character in the game. You are the star of the game.
I think that's really the neat thing, is actually kind of seeing yourself interact with the graphics around you. It kind of gives you this movie special effect thing that you can do in your own living room.
And others can see you too. With the iToy USB camera, you can create and record video messages that are played back through your PlayStation 2 gaming console.
Right now, you can actually record up to 60 seconds of video messaging for your friends and family, leave it for them. They can come home and turn it on and say, oh wait, there's a message for me.
There's a message for you from your mom. She wants you to come over for dinner.
The virtual next wave is breaking all around the world, and that's by design.
The technology was initially developed in the States, the game is developed in Europe, and everyone says it looks very Japanese. So it's a really kind of a funny worldwide experience.
We see a global game develop, and isn't it strange, the notion of gaining more control without using a controller?
We've seen really great strides lately in the graphics of games, and now I think we're going to start seeing even more strides in the user input and how you can convey what you want to happen.
Even though this has been in development in our R&D department for some time, it's still very early and we're still figuring out great new uses for the technology, and it's just going to get better from here, really.
And imagine our world of the future, where we can play just how we like with individual style in a friendly group.
The current iToy camera is a great piece of hardware that we are really excited about getting into people's homes, because I think there'll be all kinds of new gaming experiences that come out of it, and this is just the first one we see happening. And we're excited about this one, but then we're really excited about the future as well.
I see the future of gaming experiences definitely following the path that the iToy has created, taking the player out of just sitting in the living room and putting them into the game to create a truly unique gaming experience for everybody.
Bye.
It's a completely new way of experiencing the video game concept, as well as incorporating it into the experience of the movie.
Damn, not who I was hoping for.
The boys had this very unique idea about the video game, that they wanted to make the video game directly related to the movie. The Matrix is written by the boys, directed by the boys, cut by the boys, so they're actually directly involved in the making of the video game, which was their idea from the beginning, which has never been done before.
This is Thaddeus, captain of the Osiris. We're going to attempt an emergency broadcast drop in the Matrix.
Sparks, I want the ship's guns online right now.
Command.
First mention of the video game was that it was like a third movie. And it had this whole amazing, intricate story weaved into the stories in the movies.
Operator.
Get me out of here, Sparks. I've got agents right behind me.
Oh, I can't watch this.
You've basically taken Reloaded and expanded it out into two parallel stories, not just the film, not just the game. They're actually fully connected in every way.
Uh-oh, heads up, guys, incoming.
The Wachowskis had a piece of story to tell that they didn't really have time for in a 2-hour movie, where they would have told it if they had a 3-hour movie, and we get to do it in the video game.
Get to your exits. I was like, how are they gonna shoot all of this? They're gonna shoot 2, 3, and this video game script.
Everybody has been able to work together to make the most incredible game you've ever played.
Larry and Andy insisted that the same, incredible kind of resources that are used on a film set were used for this video game footage. It meant that all the same equipment was used, the same film stock, with the same actors, all the same crew. There were hundreds of people on this set, and they're working on a video game.
Wu Ping and his crew were working on all the fight choreography of the movie. We're also doing all the fight choreography of the game.
We used Master Wu Ping and his team to take fight moves to another degree. It gives such an enormous variation to the player.
The fight moves we have are so much further beyond your standard kicks and punches that you've seen in a game. They're just sort of mind-blowing moves that Master Wu would choreograph for us.
When you're playing this video game, you're actually going to be playing his stunt actors just delivering fantastic three-dimensional fighting moves. We could have faked it with some stunt people in Hollywood, but it just wouldn't have been the same.
In this game, we're trying to actually go from beginning to end so that the fight moves end up being unique and different almost every single time.
Each character has hundreds more moves than the average fight game, 500-600 moves per character.
On top of it all, the camera moves were directed by Larry and Andy, so that a cool action moment takes on that flair that it would in a film.
In a video game, usually they'll just stick the camera here and it'll attach to the guy's head and it'll follow him perfectly as he moves, which isn't cinematic.
Because they wanted to make this more film-like, we had Larry and Andy actually directing the cameras that are in the gameplay, you know, where they exist as characters walk around in the game. There's visual effects in the game, unique visual effects.
The visual effects we're doing for the game, we're treating no differently. They're done to the same level of quality, the same resolution, done by the same companies from the movie.
It's good to be home.
You're going to see versions of shots that you'll find in the movie sort of reworked from Ghost and Niobe's point of view.
You don't have $1 million visual effects shots in games normally.
Ghosts create distraction.
Movie license games, if they're lucky, the character looks like the actor who was in the film, but usually they don't even get the rights to use that likeness.
You don't get an engaging performance, and that's something that's entirely new here. Real actors giving real performances, real stories.
This mission is suddenly looking very...
Listen, I'm gonna take the lead along that path to draw them out. You nail them as soon as they show themselves.
It's going to raise the bar for what people understand to be a fight game in the same way that the Matrix film raised the bar in terms of what people saw as a fight sequence.
You do not truly know someone until you fight them.
David Perry, who was their personal choice for designing the game, wanted to make a game that no one has ever seen.
Movie games are generally not as well received because the game isn't quite the experience of the movie.
Chinese always sort of prided themselves on not doing sequels or not doing licensed games.
When I saw what they did inside their script and the story just goes off, the rabbit hole effectively just starts going deeper, then I really bit.
So we threw all our sort of corporate philosophy out the window and went after this just because it's different than a license, you know.
We've made a game that has exploration, it has shooting, it has fighting, flying, driving, hacking.
And on top of that, you get the hour-long Matrix movie interspersed within the game that you can't see anywhere else.
I need to talk to Morpheus.
Believe me, Niobe, he needs you.
Where is he?
Just follow the sirens.
Let's go.
Larry and Andy actually decided which pieces are going to be dramatic and which pieces are going to be gameplay sections from a perspective of a gamer. They're doing it because they personally would love to sit down and play those sections of the game.
Destroy them.
You gotta see it. I mean, you gotta see it. When you grab hold of those controls and when you start punching those buttons, I mean, you'll see you can do things you've never done before.
There's a lot of things revealed in our game that this is the only place you're going to find it out. There's also some glimpses of movie 3, which I think you'll find interesting.
The brothers made it clear that they viewed the game as not just a merchandising deal like you would do making a Matrix lunchbox, but they really thought of it as what's going to be the most fun for the gamer and what's going to be a really fun game to play.
Man, reality can be a bitch.
Tell me about it.
That is hot.
If we fail, Neo fails. So are you red or blue on this?
come from.
Give me the agreed upon ego soon, or the deal is off.
I've seen what comes of such foolish plans.
I want information. Where the hell am I?
I think the Baron set me up. Actually, I think everybody's trying to kill me.
Kira, this is Ashlyn. She's just...
Everyone knows who she is.
And Kira's...
A friend. A very good friend.
We're not doing anything until you tell us why metalheads are trading with the Baron's forces.
I should have had some both kneecapped, eh? Good night.
How come we get all the crappy missions?
Because I don't like you.
Fair enough.
Onan welcomes you, blah, 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 the usual boring salutations. She says it is good to see you again, Jack. But we've never met before. Before, after, it is all the same. Something's happening to me. Something he did. I can't control it.
Duo has returned.
Jack and Daxter.
You're amazing. Yeah, I know. Scratch me there.
THQ.
Sphinx and the Shadow of Set. Far beneath the shifting sands of time, a battle has begun, and a hero has been born. He is brave. He is powerful. He is a whole new kind of hero. Prepare for an immortal adventure. Sphinx and the Shadow of Set. Matrix.